So this is a character folder that I just made as a template. I mean, because this is the bare minimum you need: the character in the UI, the back image of the character, the chibi character, the house, the character when they're in the house or on the character select screen, and then the icon of the character, of which I'll show you more in a moment as I switch over to my image software, which is also still not correct. So let me just do a little shift here and there. But if I were to show you what's on my screen here, then yeah, just to kind of give you the dimensions as well, even though this is all available, if you go on the Discord server, the World of Horror Discord server, you can see this for yourselves, but I might as well go through it in video form. I may have done this before, but I just want to go through it again, just if for no other reason than time's sake. But yes, I've put some red parts here to kind of show some important parts. For example, this is the house screen. Particular, this circular part on the lower screen just means that the 1 pixel at the bottom left corner is your transparency, which is why, if you can note in right in the middle of the screen here, I put a black dot. I put that there. These numbers don't mean anything, by the way. This is just for, you know, showing you, the viewer. But the actual image, if you didn't see at the very beginning of the video, actually has a black dot in the middle. This is to kind of give you the template. Again, timestamps exist in case you want to skip forward. But moving on to the character template, there's a better template on the Discord server if you look for it. 195 by 164. Again, as always, the bottom part of this bottom left part of this image, the very 1 pixel at the bottom left corner, decides the transparency, so it's all this green. That being said, there are other parts that you need to be aware of. For example, this circular part now means also that if you put anything here, like right around the bottom corner, your character will poke out of the UI. So, among other things like blocking the stats, but this is by far the worst one because it's actually a little jarring to see, in my opinion at least. So, and if you're making a B version, just to note, you have to also overlay all the status effects. Again, I'm only going through the bare minimum you need to have the graphics for a character. Here's the character icon. It's 18 by 18 because if I try to type the letters, then it's a bit too doesn't look nice. But here's the back screen. So the back image, 256 by 288, is a lot bigger, but the same things apply. But this red circle also means that this is how you go back from the mystery selection screen. So the character's back image will appear on the mystery board. You want to kind of leave a spot right here open or cut out from the character's image so that you can see the back button. It's not mandatory because you can still click through a character's image, but you'll notice this the most with Columbo, the character I made, if you want to see an example, but otherwise, again, just for the sake of example, might as well mention that here. Also, yes, after a certain part here, if you go outside of this box, so around this section, you'll actually be blocking some of the mystery board, but again, you can still click through it, so it's perfectly fine. And then here's the chibi. This red portion is kind of where the chibi should be at. You are more than welcome to actually just download a character or just use the template characters included or just available through Pantstas themselves and kind of just make your chibi character through here. 105 by 57 pixels. So yeah, that's that. And the last thing to go over is kind of the code of a character's Ito file. Again, these are the bare minimum you need, so that's why I'm going over all of it. But if I were to show you the Ito file really quickly, again, this will work as intended, or it will work without crashing, so don't need to put the author, contact, so on and so forth, all the stats. These stats are kind of the average that you'll be using, so 36 is around the stat average, but some stats are, I think, objectively better, but feel free to give the character whatever you want. The only other nuance here is that you should not give a character, I think it's 2 in a stat. No, 1. You should not give a character 1 because what happens if, say, you put a character strength to 1 is that they, on Harbinger of Doom difficulty, they automatically die because all of their stats are reduced by 1. And when a character has 0 in a stat, Doom shoots up to 100%. And then there are these, here are the graphics that I showed you earlier. They're all PNGs. I don't doubt you could use other image types, but I just stick with PNGs for now. I don't actually have a character template B, so this character will actually crash if I try to use them. But if I were to move down here, again, these are the bare, you don't need Portrait B, you can even not give them any names, it'll just show up as blank, but you do need these 5. If these 5 are missing and do not link to a picture, the game will crash. As for the character selection part, right here at the menu tag, this is essentially all the lore. These could be blank, but if you just want to kind of go through the natural World of Horror, how World of Horror shows the images, you know, the English occupation of the character and the character's occupation in Japanese, the name with the name separated by 2 hashtags. Hashtags in World of Horror text file code means basically a line break. And then here I put short, less than paragraph lore for character. Any longer and the text trails too far and kind of pushes everything down, which is why I add this little line selector here. So line break, 3 dashes, line break into, let me cough, into bonuses, traits, passives, other info. Usually what stats they have more of, what stat they lack, or stats if you do more than one. And then any other information, like say you give them bonuses, as I'm going to show you down here. Maybe they have an extra item, maybe they start with a status effect. If they're in PERM, then you do more stuff, but I'll explain that when I get there. And then here are the status effects for the images. Again, you don't need these right away, but it's nice to have them to have a whole complete character working in base World of Horror custom content. Low stamina, low reason at bare minimum, but add the rest at your leisure. For those who are completely new to making custom content, the other status effects are not added yet unless you use PERM, but PERM is a whole other whale, so I won't go over that too much. And then here are the starting bonuses again in the lore, or if you actually want to give a character something, they can be items, curses, injuries, and perks all count as status. So for example, if I put status here and then I put, I don't know, hard knock, I actually don't know the exact spelling because the spelling is very specific. This spelling of hard knock is different from this spelling of hard knock, which is different from this spelling of hard knock. So you do need to know the very specific, and the kind of brute force way to check is to just give your character something, and then if the game doesn't crash, click on the status effect. If you click on it and the UI appears, then you've done it right. If you click on it and nothing happens, then you have not done it right. So just to revert this back to what I had, although I need to restart the game anyway, so let me just save this really quickly. But then going over the PERM specific part again, if you don't use or don't know what PERM is, don't worry about it, but just really quickly, those who do know it, this is basically the first 2 things to use. There's a lot more you can add, but just to kind of start out, if you want some help, here is basically the same thing that I did here, except with PERM. So if you want to give a character more than 2 bonuses, which is the limit for base custom content, then you use bonus types to give them more of an item, a curse, a status effect, perks, so on and so forth, allies as well. And then this perk line means that perks that they can get on level up. So if you want to make a version of Miku, like I did with Nurse Miku, you can give her adrenaline because adrenaline is not included in any perk pack. I'm kind of rolling my eyes to the back of my head, thinking if that's true or not, but I'm pretty sure that's true. And then here's core strength just because I feel like it, but yeah, not really much else to say there. So we'll actually start this run because I am going to be starting on a character. I accidentally removed World of Horror, so let me actually remove Sublime. Studio mode OBS, But yeah, let's get started with this run. So we're gonna just do a random run here just to kind of show you the character in action. I need to reload the game anyway, so all things considered, I mean, it's good I went through that. But if anything breaks, I'll just fix it live. This is not a stream-like video. I think we're on ill-fated as well. But let's play our quote-unquote custom character. And you'll notice, I think this is the black pixel that you saw. So there will still be something. The black pixel is just the easiest way to have nothing appear. And that's all I'll mention there because there's not really much else to mention. We'll play with ill-fated, and in we go. So, as we get into ill-fated custom character template, because I guess this is the part of PERM in which I make a custom character, because I will add PERM things to them. This is why this is still this video is still part of the PERM playlist or series on this channel. But hey, dexterity, second mystery, Takshi's strength, second encounter, and maybe a knowledge check. That being said, the perk packs that I gave this template character for the moment are not indicative of the character I'm actually making. But if you know, then it's actually kind of funny because I just so happened to guess what I just randomized kind of close to the character I'm going to make. And it is she is a character from a series, so that's why I'm kind of being vague. But if you noticed here, just to kind of mention the beginning of this video, so here's the first water bottle that I added, and then here's the second one. I think PERM effects are added later, but not that it matters because I did both bottles of water. I really should have named it something else, even just a bottle of milk, but you can give your character things from PERM or just base World of Horror. Just that with base World of Horror custom content, you end up only giving a character up to 2 things, whether they're positive or negative, because you can give them 2 injuries if you want. But yeah, anywho, moving on. Otherwise, not really much else to this video. Again, it's not like I even fixed this character or character template stats to what I was going to use them as, but just to kind of get you into at least showing that, you know, the bare minimum, if you want to just get the gameplay of your character down, then feel free to just pretty much follow this video. Scissors, Festival, Feet, Akamanto, and Okay, well, 3 boss mysteries in a row, don't mind if I do, and off we go. But as this part of the PERM series evolves, or continues, the character will be evolving as I make do, which is kind of the reason, as I mentioned in the past, why I had to basically start using filler videos, because I may mess up some days, and I am not perfect. So give me like a filler video pretty much every other day, at least until things change again. But as we get the Cursed Doll and Ghostly Spear, this is going to be a very interesting run. But yeah, as you can see, again, as long as the game doesn't crash, you can at least test your character, and then you can also slowly add in things that you want your character, or graphics for your character, and kind of test them out. I highly recommend you do this and not make everything wholesale, or make everything and try to use it at once, because if something crashes, you're not entirely certain what may have gone wrong. Let me repeat that again, because I said a lot there, but if you are making a custom character, start small, and this is kind of the most close to the minimalist you can do to make a character, and that's literally not, it's literally to not add any graphics. So please do this first, and then slowly add, say, the main graphic. Once you get that working, you don't have to do a full run, probably do like a mystery or two. Then add another status effect, or maybe add the character's back image, maybe add things. You can do it all at once if you feel like it, but the concept I'm trying to convey to you is just to get your character done in steps and test the character out in steps. I might be speaking kind of from a programming point of view, but that's because I feel like it's a general piece of advice. Just working on anything, but specifically World of War custom content, please, at least for characters, please make them this way. That way your character does not crash immediately. It's not like no characters would crash on release, but I think more than several characters that have been released anywhere, really, not just, say, on the Discord server or on, the Steam Workshop. Not all of them are perfect, but more than a handful of them just crash or don't work. I think in one specific example, an uploader did not upload the rest of the character's files and only added the Ito file. I just taking damage in the face, by the way. But that's not good to do. I think we still survive here. We just take damage for this. But when we use Ghostly Spear, we'll get our out. I think, yeah, let's just play it safe and do Desperate Prep Attack into Handcuff Attack. But yeah, one specific example is that someone only added the character's Ito file, which will not fly. Another example, another common example, is that someone will not link to a character's image correctly, which will cause the game to crash, which is why I mentioned at the beginning of the video, and right now, that you need the bare minimum and just build your character from there. I highly recommend you do that. Again, if you're confident, feel free to do, a character in batches, or just do it all at once. Just make sure the character doesn't crash. If you're gonna do that, like, again, make the whole character and then plan to release them, play the character in at least 1 run, but really 2 runs if you're just gonna do, make the whole character and be like, oh, I'm done. So, at this point, usually, I think I'm like at a 50-50 standpoint at that, where the characters I make nowadays, I might make some adjustments, but they work out of the box because, again, I know what I'm doing at this point. So that's not to say that I won't make mistakes here and there, but yeah, more than a few characters. Again, the bottom line is more than a few characters do not work. Shrug. So, one little nuance here is that if you're using character in a different language, you shouldn't expect them to work if you're playing on the language the character is not made in. An example here would be that if I'm playing this character and I switch my World of Horror game language to, I don't know, Korean, then the character will not function correctly because I will be giving them a bottle of water that is not translated correctly, because bottle of water in Korean or Japanese or Chinese or Polish or Russian is not the same as it is spelled in English. And as I mentioned, spelling is very, very specific in World of Horror. I'm kind of moving my hands in real life as if you can see me, but you get the point. Spelling is very specific, and if it's a different language, then you'll get the thing where you click on something and nothing will appear, because pretty much language. Well, I'm not gonna say that part. I'm not gonna say that's gonna be more confusing. Basically, spelling is very specific in World of Horror. By the way, I think we just take this in the face. This is a vampire enemy, lo and behold. So we will do a prep strong, and I think I'm just going to go for the a risky play. So We need at least 2 ghostly spears. Yeah, we need 2 ghostly spears. Actually, do I need 2 ghostly? Oh my goodness, I do. Let's see here. I'm just gonna go for it. I think we die if we miss, but it's 95%. If I miss that, I'm gonna be so sad. Also, we do need a better weapon, so I'm gonna equip the Rusty Sickle instead. But unfortunately, I also already equipped the Crestfallen Mask, so I can't equip the Lost Soul Mask even if I wanted to. Lost Soul Mask is a perm item, by the way. Again, part of the reason why this video belongs to the PERM series, but hey. Also, as I get into the next mystery, let me just do an OBS thing for about 2 seconds because I forgot that I did not do a thing. Actually, never mind. Oh, no, I didn't do a thing. It's something completely different. I'm being vague here because I'm doing some OBS magic in the back. But as we enter our third mystery with 15% Doom, this is very good. Very good, by the way. Part of it is due to the Crestfallen Mask, but even without the Crestfallen Mask, this is a lot of Doom that we have to spare. But at the same time, we're just taking damage left and right, and keeping in mind we're on an ill-fated run, so things can downhill spiral very, very quickly. Anywho, can this be used, by the way? Small chance of dealing 1x. Okay, no. For some reason, I thought it was a perm-specific weapon, but that would... Well, actually, no. That custom mystery I did was a custom mystery, so it could have employed some perm stuff. But anywho, I don't think... Yeah, I think the Rusty Sickle is a base weapon. I'm going absolutely crazy right now. But anywho, as we get ill-fated into, thankfully, nothing at the moment... Yeah, we have a lot of Doom to work with. Yeah, gameplay-wise, this is, again, a character... Well, actually, funny enough... actually, I need to think about what I'm about to say. So let me just... Give me about 5 seconds to make sure. Because I'm thinking of one exception, but I think it'll be okay. Let's level up here first. Military thingy background. I'm just going to take strength. Yeah, I'm just going to take strength. Anywho. Okay, so yeah, I know what I'm going to say. So... Basically, a character like this that has everything at average and doesn't have any big positives, but also doesn't have many negatives, is around the same, is just as easy to play with than a character that has a huge advantage, but also has huge disadvantage, or even just some disadvantages. The reason I say that, so basically a character that seems a lot better, barring some exceptions, but again, there's still exceptions to those rules. An example here is Aiko. Aiko is very good at combat. If you give a custom character basically fast swimmer and you allow them to get like adrenaline and core strength as well, you'll still have problems in events. That's not really fair because most characters do, but it is just, I think, objectively a thing to worry about, as opposed to a character that has more Doom to work with. Therefore, even if events slap them in the face, left, right, and center, they can still recover because they have a lot of Doom to work with. Does that make sense? So... Anywho, does the map need to be equipped? I really hope it doesn't. That is a perm thing that could be true, but for now, we're just gonna sit here. I should actually rest, but we'll do it right before the end here, which this is the end, so off we go. Oh yeah, so to get more into what I want to talk about, because it is about making a character and kind of the character balance at this point, although I do, for the most part, gameplay is about only 50%. I mean, that's big, but if you want to make a character that you like to see, then yeah, it's nice to have a character that you want to see. Also, we could just run to the trees here. We're just going to mash through, by the way, though. So, let us continue on. I think I can still gun at some point. So, let's make sure we can do that. And let's see, because we're on ill-fated, so anything, we want to avoid crashing this taxi. And we did not use the gun, so 50 HP. And I feel like there's a lot more taxis here. But anywho, I think we can still survive this because we have ghostly spears that we can throw into these taxis in the game. So, yeah. Actually, let's just do the strong instead. And then we'll just throw in some ghostly spears while we are doing this. We also have flesh regrowth if need be. But we should be relatively fine here. So, we're going to brace here just to be safe. But I'm pretty sure we're okay. Oh, yeah, let me get back to what I was talking about. So, yeah, a character like this that's kind of average, doesn't have the most advantage. I mean, I would still say that or a character that starts with a weapon, most weapons, or a character that has, a lot of what I consider good perks like core strength, adrenaline, even my weird collection, does have an advantage most of the time, but it's not like a huge... how should I say? I don't think one is necessarily stronger than the other, and another big part of the reason why I believe that is because we have Scissors and Festival. Is because of basically player strategy. I do think player strategy is a big component to your success in World of War. So even if you are playing, on Ayaka with all perks, or your Toshiaki with, I think Toshiaki has some weird combination, but you get the point. You get a bad RNG run, you get Mizuki on 7th Curse. For the most part, you can recover from a lot of, at minimum 75% of your situations and be perfectly fine, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. So a character that has no advantages or no disadvantages, you can kind of play them however you choose, because I do believe a lot of strategies work. That being said, as I tried to run away here, never mind, can't run from this. Why? Oh, I can't even fit it in strong, I'm so sad. I can fit it in a kick, but I think 3 attacks are better, so... We'll take -2 all and get out. We actually do bonus damage instead, so I could have actually braced. Well, yeah, I probably could have braced, but I also could have dodged. But anywho. But yeah, character, I might as well go through some examples. I often like to just use straight out examples. Oh my goodness, my reason, by the way, we need to heal that. Adrenaline, reason. But yeah, another example we use is Moriko. Say you play as Moriko, yeah. Weapons are usually cool, and the old shotgun is one of the better, or if not the best, firearm weapon. But you maybe just get 3 stacks of hallucination, and suddenly your perception, your Moriko run is a lot more difficult. Now, she does have deft handling, but again, if your RNG is bad, you never get deft handling. You get 2 or 3 stacks of hallucinations, and suddenly you're like, well, can't prep attack, time to gamble. So, we'll take 6 Doom here, because we want the spiral. Now, never mind. We might as well take the experience. I think you get experience here, right? No, you don't. Never mind. Do I not get experience there? Wow, alright. Didn't know that. But as we have 63 Doom to spare, and we lose the bath, yeah, off we'll go. So, into Scissors. This is actually not good, because I don't have any stamina to heal, except for Flesh Regrowth. But I am already using a lot of stamina, so whoopsie doopsie. Guess we'll find out. So, not the library notes, the Friend's Diary. There was something else I wanted to say, but I forgot. We are on Timeline A, but we don't need a better weapon, so Upside Down, Triangle, Cup, and Ball, and we will take things to throw. The Cursed Doll will be an interesting pick. I think we can survive the Lighthouse with this big stamina build we have. So the reason I call this a stamina build is because we can spend a lot of max reason, but we can basically infinitely heal stamina, pseudo-infinite, because Flesh Regrowth, until our max stamina pretty much drops to 2, we're not going to really be in trouble. And in fact, even if that were the case, unless our max stamina drops to 0, we shouldn't really need to worry. However, we are in a situation in which I don't really. Yeah, never mind. I lied. we get 27 damage on demand on encounters where we can we don't need to worry about accuracy. But anywho, I think I have a pack of cigarettes actually. So funny enough, we'll take that. But we want to actually smoke the cigarettes here because yeah, it would be nice. I don't think we need the Cursed Doll if we're going to be using Ghostly Spear. So it's a kind of a double-edged sword to have, or it's kind of a dulled sword to have the Cursed Doll while we have Flesh Regrowth Ghostly Spear. That being said, getting our Doom slapped out of us ain't great, but we're doing 25 damage on demand is also not bad. So, yeah, this is a good Scissors run. It could have been bad. If we didn't have the Rusty Sickle, if we didn't have a pack of cigarettes, we would be taking, at minimum, an extra -2 all throughout this whole mystery, if nothing else. But because we have the power of, 16 throw damage, I don't even think we needed that, but let's find out. So, 89%, yeah, we didn't need to throw that money, but... Okay, I was about to say, if I missed 3 of those, I was gonna scream. So, as we get to the end of this run here, we can rest at the Lighthouse for the rest of our days, but let's just make absolutely sure that we're ready to do whatever we can do. So, Old Coin, Lost Soul Mask, I'm pretty sure we can throw these. We don't need to throw anything else. I think the Spiral Hood does nothing because of just kind of, being biased as a cloth item, but we can double up on knowledge, that's fine. That way we take less stamina damage, and off we go. So, do we have the knowledge check? We don't have the 6th floor, so we don't. We do have the strength check. We don't care about Doom pretty much, and so we just go bleh and move on. Because we also still have Flesh Regrowth and Ghostly Spear. But, yeah, this is the most balanced you can make a character, but obviously when you're making a character, you want to be, I did guess there because I was just lazy. Yeah, you do what makes the most fun for your custom character or most immersion, or whatever you want. Maybe you're just showcasing your own art and you want to just, make a cool character for custom for World of War as custom content. But otherwise, not really much else to say. This video's gone on long enough because I think I spent like 10 minutes at the very beginning talking about making a character, but without further ado, not really much else to say. So here's where the back image would show up, but, template. Work with the bare minimum, slowly add. So you'll probably see me slowly add to this character, and you'll immediately recognize her as soon as I make her. But yeah, without further ado, not really much else to say. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, criticism, advice, corrections to make to any statements I've said, feel free to say so. Otherwise, unless you're going absolutely insane, then I can't allow it. But yeah, not going to waste too much more of your time. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye!